everyone, this is my review of Tales of Earthsea, which I did a month ago, but it turned out that YouTube didn't record the sound, and so I have to do it over again. For the technical side of things, I will refer you to the Wikipedia page on Tales from Earthsea, and I will now talk to you about the movie and everything that bothered me about it. To sum it up shortly, what bothers me most about this movie is that nothing is explained, and every scene follows another in such a fast, confusing pace that I had trouble keeping up with the movie. We begin the movie at sea, where a ship is in a very bad storm, and there are two dragons fighting, one of which kills the others. We don't get told what is going on beyond the fact that apparently those able to use magic are now losing that ability. The scene moves on pretty quickly to a kingdom, apparently named Enlod, where the king is told of this. He is also told of the pestilence and drought in his land, and a pair of servants tell him that his son, Prince Aaron, has been gone for a really long time and no one knows where the boy is. We then see the queen, who tells her husband to go ponder on the problems of his land and not be bothered with their missing son. Their son has been missing for many hours, yet this is no cause for concern because he's 17 years old and boys will be boys. Parenting at its best, people. The king goes to what I can only guess is his room or his study to ponder, but he never gets there because he is killed in the dark corridor by his son. The young prince then proceeds to rob his father's dead body of its sword and runs away. This is never explained why he does this. It is never explained why he took the sword. The scene, to me, kind of lost all meaning because it wasn't properly explained why he did that ever. We then move on to a desert scene. Things move real quickly in this movie, where Arn is being pursued by wolves and saved by the archmage Sparrowhawk. Sparrowhawk coerces Arn into traveling with him, and doesn't ask about the boy's past at all. Apparently, in the time they lived in the Middle Ages, I would guess, by the setting, one didn't question the backstories of young noblemen traveling alone, attacked by wolves, carrying a magic sword. They arrive in a city called Hort Town, though why a city would be named Town, I don't know. And Sparrowhawk tells Aaron explicitly not to go and explore the town because it is dangerous, yet Aaron completely ignores this and does so anyway, and suddenly becomes scared of something that is following him. While running, he discovers a young girl named Teru who is fleeing from slavers that are trying to capture her so they can sell her on the slave market, apparently. Aaron then proceeds to kick the ever-loving crap out of the slavers, all of them except the head slaver, going completely evil on their asses. The head slaver then runs away, saying that Teru was ugly anyway and probably wouldn't have gotten him much money, which annoys me to no end, because why would they go through so much trouble capturing a girl they think is ugly and won't bring any money? We move again to later in the evening. Excuse me. And Aaron has been captured by the slavers, and his sword and loses his sword because the slavers believe it's worthless junk. Yet apparently they cared enough to sell it to a what you call that shop again? A merchant shop. There we go. Arn is captured and Sparrowhawk is forced to save him. Apparently this took them quite a distance out of town, though it wasn't very clear in the movie. They then travel on to a farmhouse where a woman named Tenar lives that Sparrowhawk apparently knows very well, yet we are never told how they know each other. And she is taking care of Teru. Now Tenar and Sparrowhawk, if their relationship portrayed in the movie is anything to go by, apparently know each other very well and have some form of a relationship or another. Yet it is never explained how they know each other, and while it is very clear that they obviously have a romantic relationship together, it is never really explained why or how or when or any of that fun stuff. We then again switch to another scene as the head slaver has returned to a castle to inform his master, Lord Cobb, that the slaves got away. Lord Cobb very nearly kills him until the head slaver tells him that Sparrowhawk was the one who freed the slaves, and Cobb orders him to bring Sparrowhawk to the castle. Sparrowhawk reveals at the farm. We move to another scene, yes. And then he is investigating the cause of the imbalance of the world and the loss of magic everywhere. Because apparently mages are losing their magic, and this is very big in this world. He returns to Holt Town, where he discovers the sword that Aaron had, and buys it back from the merchant who had it. And apparently, though I did not see this in the movie I watched, he, upon being confronted by Hare, the head slaver, has transformed his face, though I never saw that. I just saw the man with the white scar. Yeah, Sparrowhawk has this white scar on his face, and apparently it's a sign that he's a mage. I'm not entirely sure. It's never explained how he got it, or why he has it, or what it means. At the retreat, Aran finds out that Teru's parents hated her and burned her face and left her to die, basically. And he reveals to Teru, who has gradually accepted him over this short 2 days that he was there, that he killed his own father, and now he is scared of some unknown presence that's following him. He later leaves in secret, and we move on to another scene where Tenar is captured by the slavers in order to use her as bait for Sparrowhawk. They leave Teru tied to a post, which she then proceeds to lift up off its hinges and out of the ground. I didn't know at the time I watched this movie what happens at the end, so all I could think when I saw this scene for the first time was, that is a pretty damn strong 17-year-old woman there pulling a heavy fence post out of the ground and freeing herself. We move to yet another scene where Aran is running from his own shadow, almost, it seems, and falls into a lake and promptly proceeds to drown. He is saved by Lord Cobb, who takes him to his castle, and very creepily, very up close and in person, feeds the boy a potion and proceeds to talk to him really up close and in person, to the point of it being way too close for comfort. And he tells Aaron that Sparrowhawk wants him because the sword he had contains the secret to eternal life, and proceeds to get the boy to say his true name, which is Lebanon. And he needs this true name to control the boy. Sparrowhawk, we move to another scene, people, returns to the farm and finds Teru, who by halfway there, who has freed herself. He gives her the sword and tells her to go back to the farm and wait for Aaron, while Sparrowhawk meanwhile goes to the castle. We shift scenes and arrive at the castle, and Sparrowhawk is confronted by none other than Aaron, who proceeds to try and kill him, until Sparrowhawk manages to get Aaron to stab his sword between his arm and his hip, and he pretty much locks Aaron's arm there and hugs the boy, sort of, kind of, in a way it looked like that, and tells the boy that no one will live forever. And apparently that is enough to make Aaron realize that he almost killed Sparrowhawk and freak out. Sparrowhawk, however, realizes that Cobb must have put a spell on the castle because he's unable to use his magic powers there, and is promptly thrown in the dungeon where Tenar is waiting. We have a scene briefly with Sparrowhawk and Tenar in the cell talking and praying for the young children as they are waiting to be put to death in the morning. Teru, meanwhile, does not wait at the farm, but rushes out to the castle to try and help Tenar and Sparrowhawk. And she sees what she believes to be Aaron, and follows him to the castle, where he reveals that he is part of Aaron, and that he is the light within Aaron that Aaron has been running from. He tells Teru his true name, and says that while he cannot go in the castle, he will be with her at all moments. Teru goes into the castle and finds Aaron, whom has apparently gone emo over the fact that he almost killed Sparrowhawk when he couldn't have cared less about killing his father. And Teru proceeds to give him back his hopes simply by saying his true name. Apparently this triggers a change and makes Aaron suddenly extremely confident and faster than light. Yeah, literally faster than light. They proceed to run from the bottom of the castle to the top of one of the towers where Sparrowhawk and Tenar are about to be killed. Aaron then unsheathes for the first time his magical sword and proceeds to fight the slavers and win. Slavers then proceed to run away. He then confronts Lord Cobb and proceeds to chop off his hand with the magic staff, and apparently no longer having his staff equals to no longer having his magic. Lord Cobb grabs Teru and flies to the other roof, and Aaron literally runs down one tower and up the other in the span of time it takes Lord Cobb to fly from one rooftop straight over to the other. I am now at 15 minutes, and I will continue my review in the part 2.